In the world, there are lots of people who I believe has accomplished to such a degree that they live with God, they live with Amida Buddha, they live with Samadhi all the time. Many of them are unknown, but I know it. They are quiet, but they just practice. And compared to that, I'm like a peon. I don't come close. I read, for example, Meister Eckhart, his sermon, and he was talking about obedience to God. I read Myokonin, Genza, Saichi, fully devoted. There's nothing else but Amida Buddha, also Osono, the women. It's so impressive. Daisetz Suzuki lived the whole life dedicated to share the idea of Zen with the West, but back in Japan toward the end of his life, kept on writing so many books, also translating even Shinran's thick material into English. There are so many of them. And what I realize is that I bullshit. I have knowledge, but the practice is still weak. Or I can make excuse why I'm not that devoted fully. I think I am, but I know the level is different. Kabir, Rumi, Basho, even I want to throw in Picasso in here or Einstein. It's a bit different, but in terms of devotion, they've got it. No one is perfect, but the willingness that these people have poured out from inside. But like Brother Lawrence, just working in the kitchen in the monastery, and someone wrote about what he said and made it available, so he didn't care about writing or sharing, but lived with God as if every moment he was talking with God or Amida Buddha. Doesn't matter which God or which Amida or what level of dedication that all the monks here and there. Some are good at giving sermon or just the presence of doing, fully engaged with the connection with the heart, God, Amida Buddha. And I watch this stuff, I'll put it in the video, that in my house I have lots of pieces of paper, and I looked at one of them, or maybe this is the way to do it. How do I do it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think you can see that. I don't know if we could, but those are written in Japanese and some English, not much. But one talks about, it's funny that I don't remember it, because sitting next to the bed, one is on the right that I see says Namuamidabutsu and eyes and absolute state of being. And I was impressed, but funny that I didn't notice it when I put it. I'm sure that's in the last 3 months or so. Yes. And the reason why I have Namuamidabutsu, I, and the absolute state of being, I know it. And I thought, wow, that's good. But then I look at myself, am I really, I don't like to use the word practicing. It's practicing is like something off the shelf and practicing. But yes, living is the word. So I'm not at such a state of living as much. I'm at the state of trying to practice it. Sometimes I feel I'm living. Sometimes I'm practicing, reminding me. And some other times I'm doing something else in my mind. Yeah, but not the excuse. But if I have to do certain things like working on the computer using AI, there's something I have to practice and do using my mind. When I'm doing that, in the background, I have those ideas I feel, but I won't notice it. So what it means is that I'm on and off. But as soon as I talked about it, yeah, that's my point, that I have the excuse. And the excuse is, like Saichi says, he's also into delusion at times. So I can see me flipping, living this way or that way. Sometimes I'm in the state of absolute state of being. I feel it. Sometimes my whole body is I, and I feel it. Sometimes not. Maybe many times not. And what's the Namuamidabutsu is like trying to imitate. I'm not the Shin Buddhist or Myokonin. I know it, I feel it, but I may not, I do not say Namuamidabutsu. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. So I'm like hodgepodge of ideas, and I'm doing this YouTube also to make sure I can put those ideas in practice from the heart. And the way I do it is like posting those words that inspires me here and there, or in the toilet. Be sincere and truthful. On that one, I think I have some depth in it to practice because it's been with me for 25 years. Namuamidabutsu, yeah, as knowledge and the whole body is I, yes. And it's the same as being in the state of absolute being. And I feel it. It comes on its own. Yes. Even now. So it's not the excuse. I'm just saying why I do these things and how I live and how I wish to live. But with this mixture of things and why those pieces are there is my effort to synthesize them in me. Yes, this is the thought because I have this engineering mind, which is I'm bullshit to make a model and share it. And I was fairly successful in writing books and practicing it with companies 40 years. So I apply those techniques. Like, if it's important, make it visible. That's why they are there. But even if it's visible, when you're busy, mind is off, you forget it. And therefore, I put those in a small pieces of paper here and there. And every now and then, I look at them. And the fact that I have so many videos that I post is related to that. By talking and sharing, putting things together, I'm doing for myself. And at the same time, like my book writing, by producing video, some people may take a look and maybe possibly inspire and do something. So I resolve myself, it's okay, I'm this, I try it, I share it, I try to practice it. But like my excuses, nobody's perfect. Like Saichi, sometimes those delusionary thoughts pop up or forget, whereas others, many don't forget, they're living. And here's another excuse. Bodhisattva idea is not to be in heaven all the time, but come back and work. That's what Daisetz says too. And I'm going this middle way, on and off. So similar to Saichi and somewhat related to Bodhisattva, not fully enlightened, but you are possibly helping people. I wrote the book, and one of the book, New Shopla Management, is dedicated for those who shed the light in the corner of the universe or the world. And I want it to be like that. That's why I put that to dedicate that book in 1992. So the spirit is there, I think. I feel it. And doing this again is just to share who I am, what I do, not to convince anyone, because everyone has to convince himself or herself to get onto this path. sincerely and truthfully. But what's wonderful about sharing a YouTube is I may meet people and we may resonate with some feeling, ideas, and there's some level of dedication, also having fun, accept, and move on. So that's heartwarming. Just a corner of the world, small point in the universe. So up and down, going through hurdles, working out with certain principle way, ideal. I just thought that this piece of paper is just a piece of paper, and the video is just a video. The core of our being has to be at the core of our being, expressing what it could. And I'm just feeling it with the maybe childlike sense of awe when as a child look at the sky and the full of stars and say, wow. Yeah, that there's always that wow feeling, and there's that me and the universe and the childlikeness. Somehow I remember Newton talking about pebbles on the beach and still playing. I'm like that. I'm a human, but there's something inside and something outside, and there's that oneness of being. I think, like Daisetz said, it's a prerogative to be born as human because God doesn't feel it, and the insect does not feel it, but human can see both end of the spectrum and feel it and live it in the mind and in our heart. May all beings be happy. Have a good day.